What's up, guys? It's Scott from Ace of Axe RC. This week on What's in My Kit Wednesday, we're going to be going over my tire truer. Alright, so a tire truer, basically, it's a lathe. It cuts down tires. We buy them brand new at a certain size, and we want to trim them down for our cars, so it just basically shaves them down. For the GT12s, this is what I use them for. My Schumacher, my old one, was a SSGT, and the tires that you'd buy for it, the contact ones, came in about 50 mil. Well, I'd want them down to 45 mil, so I'd put them in my tire truer and just true them down to 45. The new Schumacher Atom tires, they come in about 48. So I'll need to take about 3 mil off of those. I'm going to try these at 45 at first, and then I'll change that if I need to. One of the biggest advantages for me for truing the tires down is it reduces the chance of chunking. Chunking, what it is the tires are that big that if you hit things, and I hit lots of stuff, cars and walls and rostrums, and anyway. So when you hit stuff like that, it takes a little chunk out of the tire sometimes. Well, when that happens, as you spin the tires up, it starts peeling off more and more of the tire. The more stuff you hit, the more the tire comes off. And obviously, the more the big chunks come off, the less traction you got. So it's not good. So you true them down, and it makes less area to get chunked, basically. So that way you're less likely to chunk. So that's why I true them down. It definitely helps out. There's loads of other reasons too. I'm not going to get into technical stuff, but for me, as a very novice racer that I am, that's my biggest advantage for it. So we're going to try that out. We're going to bring them up on here. This is brand new arbor that I used for the new tires, because I had a different tire before that uses a different arbor. So we're going to try that out. Never ran it up before, so spinning it up first time with you guys. So this should be interesting. And to power this thing, we'll be using the LRP 20 amp power supply. We went over this a few weeks ago now, on What's in My Kit Wednesday. And basically it just puts out 12 volts power to whatever source, battery chargers, this thing, pit lights, whatever you need it for. I'll leave a link below for this video for the power supply as well. But all right, so let's get into it. We'll zoom in on this thing, and I'll show you the functions of it, and we'll true this tire and see how it goes. All right, guys. So here it is. I've got the Ofna tire truer. This is the one I got. It says fully automatic. We'll talk about that in a bit. But obviously, 12 volt VDC. It says right there. And then you've got reverse, so which way the tire spins, or which way the truer actually spins, and then on or forward. And then you've got reverse cut, forward cut. All it does is control which way that the cutter goes. So like I said with the other ones, I've done 12 mil bullets on this as well, so it can plug straight into my power supply. So go ahead and plug that in now. All right. And then if you notice, it's inside of a cardboard box. I've done this because it just makes a mess when it cuts the tire. All this stuff falls down, and then you got a mess. So I put it inside of a cardboard box. I put some duct tape inside of it just to keep all the dust and stuff from going into there. And also, you should probably be doing this outside, because it does make a bit of a smell. I'm not outside, so because the wife's at work and I'm off, so don't tell her. Anyway, so we'll zoom into this real quick. And like I said, the tire that comes with the Schumacher Atom is at 48 mil. Just look at that real quick. 48 mil is what we're looking at there. Obviously that's holding it, so it's a little bit too tight, but yeah, just around 48 mil. So there you go. All right, so that's what we're starting off. So we want to take off 3 mil, because remember I said I wanted it to be at 45. So basically I'll just run this forward until it gets around the tire, then I'll look until it's just touching. I try to get a 0 on here. So there's a 0. Run it back a little bit. The tensioner of the sliding blade, you can do that here, but you don't want to leave it too tight, because you're going to be adjusting as we go. So then you just basically turn it on and then go forward with it. You close this, but with that 0 the way it's set, it's not really touching it. So we'll have to run it in a little bit. So stop the spinning, and then stop that. And then you can run it in on increments. So we're going to take it in 0.5, so half a mil basically, and then we'll run it again. So turn it on. The shield should really be down, so we'll drop it down when it starts cutting, but there you go. So then you just basically sit there and you let it cut. With the Ofna, it'll go all the way to the end and then come back, or if you don't want to wait for it, you can just bring it back manually like that. All right, so obviously that's about a half a mil, but we'll go ahead and we'll measure it just in case. Make sure everything's off, obviously, and then take it out. So yeah, like I said, obviously we're not going to be where we want to be yet because we're only taking off a half mil, but there you go. Yeah, so not a lot taken off. So we're going to run this in. I'll do another half a mil. You can go bigger than that if you want, but I'm just going to keep doing steady increments right now. Turn it back on, run it down, and now you can really hear it cutting in. And I'll go ahead and leave this off this time. You can see it. All right. So to see where we're at, what I'll do normally is I'll set this up to what I want it to be. 45. Right about. Call that 45 and lock it. And then you can just run it down and see if it's ready. Obviously it's not ready yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a full mil off this time. Yeah, I know, I'm getting crazy. And then we'll run it, and this time I'll leave it off. You can see how much it actually cuts. And a lot of people will adjust it there and run it back, but I want to do 2 good cuts with it. Yep, so still not there. So basically just go half at a time. I'll do another half. Yeah, nearly. Go ahead and take another measurement here. So 46, so we're nearly there. I'm still only going to do a half increment though, because I don't want to get crazy and then go too far. Again, normally you want the shield down, but obviously I'm showing you guys, so I'm taking the risk. You can smell that stuff in the air too, so it's probably wouldn't be a bad idea to have a mask on. Oh, that might be it. Yeah, I think we're there. All right, so something else that people will do, they'll turn these on, and then they'll take a sand paddle, basically a paddle with like a sandpaper on it, and do the edges. Sometimes I'll just use a file and do the same thing, but I'll let you guys look it up and see how to do that. But basically, it's off now, obviously. I'll just hit the edge just to kind of roll it a little bit so it's not so sharp. And then it's up to you really if you want to do super glue the sidewalls. A lot of people do that. So again, up to y'all. It's got a long thread on it. But then you can see, hopefully you can see the difference there on the focus here. You can see the difference on the sidewalls. Yeah, it's not a lot, but it definitely makes a difference out there. And I could probably go down to 44 on this pretty comfortably. But so we'll get the rest of these trimmed down, and then we'll do a quick wrap up. All right, guys. So hopefully this will be a quick wrap up. I can talk about this thing for ages because it's really helped me out a lot. I used to have to like have my buddies true the tires for me and have to give them to them, and they'd do them, and I'd get them back whenever, or I'd pay a little bit to have them done at the shop. So it's just easier to be able to do it at home. It's a little bit of an investment, but if it's something you're going to continuously use, obviously, like anything else, it's worth it. This is the first time I used this arbor that for these type of tires. So I mean, that all worked out good. That could have went wrong, but luckily it didn't. One thing I definitely suggest is getting a set of calipers or verners, and that way you can check the size of the tire as you go. You know what size you want. You can check it as you go. Obviously, not while the thing's running. You know, don't be daft, but yeah, just make sure that you are keeping up with it, because there's been a couple times I haven't paid attention and I ended up taking too much off and just being way too thin. So careful with that. Like I said, it's the Ofna brand one. There's Fast Tracks, there's Hoodie, there's all kinds of different brands out there. So check it out. What's in your price range, and if it works, you know, use it. It's all that matters. One thing that I would have liked to see on this Ofna that's not is they don't have stop points. You can't set a stop point so that way it comes back. Instead of going all the way to the end before it starts coming back. If someone knows how to set that on there, please comment below and let me know, but I haven't been able to figure that out. I know the Fast Tracks one does it. Pretty sure the Hoodie one does as well. But that's it. So if you got any questions or comments on this, please click below. Let me know what you're thinking, or if you got any questions. And don't forget to check out our Facebook, Ace of Axe RC. If you got any questions there, I'm always posting loads of stuff up over there as well. And then the website as well, Ace of Axe RC. It's not really available yet. Only thing is there's a link to Facebook and there's a link to YouTube right now, but it's getting built. I said I was going to have that done a long time ago, and that's just with this the new event that I'm taking on, that like the Q32 race and stuff like that, is taking up a lot of time. So obviously I want to get that going, because I've got a lot of people that's brand new to RC that are dependent on me to get that going. So obviously that's my focus. So yeah, if you like what you're seeing, go ahead and please click subscribe. And if you get one of these, if you're going to do the on-road type, or if you're doing off-road, doesn't matter. Just get something, get out there and start racing, and that way we can see you on the track.